Hi, I'm Garm and this is Midgardia's Cool Crowdfunding Show. I'm here today with Kat. How's it going?
I'm alive and well, thank you. How are you today?
I am doing pretty well. So,
Yay.
today you're here to talk about Solo but Not Alone. Two.
Yes. Solo but not alone too. This is the second year in a row that I am putting together a bundle of single player TTRPGs to benefit suicide prevention organization Jasper's Game Day. Last year we raised over 31 grand, and this year we are going to beat that total by hook or by crook.
I mean, you're what, 7 days in and you're already up to just under 8,000? That's pretty good.
Yes. We had a big spike today. We had when I woke up, we had 65,000. So the numbies are big today, and I'm very happy about it.
Right on, right on. So, can you tell me a little bit about Jasper's Game Day?
Jasper's Game Day is a suicide prevention organization that operates within the TTRPG space and does things like organizes events and outreach to benefit suicide prevention. They donate money to things like the American Institute of Suicidology. They help establish education and outreach in communities and schools, and they run events. They're big on in-person events, but COVID hasn't slowed them down one bit, and they're wonderful.
That's good. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
it's a good cause. I know it's something a lot of people in this community kind of struggle with.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a sad brain, and I know I'm not the only TTRPG person who has a sad brain. And golly, these past couple of years have been a doozy, huh?
Same hat, buddy. Same hat.
They've been a doozy. And so I'm very happy to see how many people are coming out to support Solo but Not Alone, either because they recognize that people need help, or because they just want to get some cool games for $10. Honestly, doesn't matter to me why. What matters is that the money's going to a good cause.
Hell yeah. So, what are some cool games in this bundle?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. I've got 4 in there, including my most popular solo game, Sacred Forge, which is like part solo game, part GM tool, kind of, in which you take on the role of a blacksmith creating a magic weapon.
I do love
Um,
Sacred Forge. I've played it. It's good.
I'm so glad that you like it. Let's see, Courage is in here, which is a Carta RPG by my friends at Cat Scratcher Studios down in Brazil. And it's basically a Zelda game with cards.
Nice, nice.
It's it's so elaborate. You go into dungeons, you look for boss keys. It's incredible. Time to Kill by Gila RPGs is in there, which is a game in which you take on the role of an assassin waiting for their target to show up. And you kind of go through these thoughts and scenes and actions while you're waiting for the target. Very good and cool. Um, there's so many games in this bundle. There's 101 games in this bundle. To make it easier for people to find their new favorite, I've put together, well, me and the other game designers, because I made them work on it this year, have put together a spreadsheet, which includes things like genre, what you'll need for the game, uh, content warnings. So there are some very dark games in here, but there's content warnings. So if you look at the spreadsheet, you'll be able to find out whether or not something is maybe too much for you. That's okay.
Excellent. Oh
So
yeah.
let's,
Yeah, I went to Seattle once is in there.
yeah, it is.
I've not actually been to Seattle, unfortunately.
I have. Went to the aquarium, had a great time.
Nice, nice. I have friends who
Let's
have
see.
been, but
Oh, I just love an aquarium.
I have not been to enough aquariums in my life.
I could stare at a tank full of jellyfish for hours uninterrupted.
That's fair.
Let's see. The 80th Minute is in here by Avery, and that is a game that takes my Carta engine and turns it into soccer. And I have no idea how, but it's so incredible. It's tense, and it's the last minutes of the last match of the season playing out. It's beautiful. Other card games. I'm mostly talking about the card games because those are the ones I have read before. There's so many games in here that I have yet to read. There's La Bête by Merlin McGraw, which is a card game about transforming into a beast and how the world changes and how you try to navigate the world in your beastly form. Beautiful.
Nice, nice.
David Blandy's Babel is there, which is about the titular tower. And David absolutely broke speed records getting this game ready for last year's Solo But Not Alone. So definitely deserves credit here. Chris Bissett, the legend himself, has got Go Alone, which is another Zelda game. There's some Zelda games in here.
Yes,
But
I was just looking at that one, yeah.
Go Alone is specifically in which you take on the role of the legendary sword, caught in a cycle of war and violence that keeps repeating. It's a beautiful concept and it's a gorgeous game. Let's see.
Got Long Haul 1983.
Yeah,
About,
Long Haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making calls back home.
We've got meditative games like 100,000 Places, which is kind of a solo ritual meditation about exploring a fantastic landscape. It's wonderful. Off Recipe is great. It's a reflective cooking LARP that you kind of play while you make a meal. Gorgeous.
Nice.
Speaking of legends, the Jiyan Shim is in here with Pin Feathers, a game that I played when it was in the Bundle for Racial Justice and Equality, which is kind of about undergoing this transformation and like imagining yourself, growing feathers and wings. It is beautiful. It's a gorgeous experience. What else is in here for meditations? My Own Rare Jewel is in there, which is a guided meditation about practicing something that matters to you. Oh, here's a gorgeous game that everyone should love. Carta Game, The Land and the People by Brian Casebold, which is this beautiful, very sensitive game about being a cartographer on a mission to map out the country and traveling and meeting the people who live in different places and hearing their stories.
Like the guys who surveyed France and accidentally shrunk it by a significant area. Because the previous estimates were too high.
You can't just guess at these things.
The French do as they will.
That's not wrong. That's historically speaking, you're absolutely correct. Here it is. Ziva McPherson's Beneath the Wishing Tree is a story about traveling through an enchanted forest to meet a unicorn and have your wish granted. It's played with a tarot deck and it's written with this really beautiful old storybook kind of language. You feel like you're in a combination children's book and choose your own adventure. It's wonderful.
Nice.
I love Beneath the Wishing Tree.
Yeah, there are a lot of there's 101, like you said. That is a significant quantity of games.
There's a significant quantity of games. There are people whose first game ever is in here. If I remember correctly, The Witch's Almanac by Chris was actually the author's first foray into game design after streaming a lot of solo games.
Nice.
I love Chris's streams.
So, what would you say to the kind of person who's never played a solo RPG before?
Solo RPGs are so good. They're so good, and there's so many different kinds. The reason that I played every solo game in the Bundle for Racial Justice and Equality was because I wanted to give credit to all the games that were in the bundle because they did a good and noble thing by stepping forward and doing it. But I couldn't get a group together to regularly play 2 or 3 player games. And a lot of these would be really hard sells for my group. You don't have to sell a solo game to anybody. You don't have to convince your group to not play Pathfinder this week and instead play this obscure indie game. You decide. You play what you want. Some of them are short meditations that are meant to kind of immerse you in an experience. Some of them are meant to be played while you do something else to kind of enhance the experience or add a fantastic layer onto it. And some of them are stories that you read and actively participate in with dice and cards. And some of them are kind of like playing a solo board game. Card games are like that. There are a virtually infinite variety of solo games. Some of them are very fluffy and soft, and if that's your thing, you can find tons of those in Solo But Not Alone too. Some of them are crunchy and involved, and I guarantee you there's some of those in Solo But Not Alone too as well. So it's I think my favorite thing about solo games is just the infinite variety and the fact that you can just pick one up and try it. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to convince anybody to let you play Follow Me in the Night, A Cursed Radio, which is a noir-inspired card game about exploring the town after dark. I love Follow Me in the Night. Submerged and Dredge, a pair of... I love that they're next to each other on the bundle as I'm looking at it. They're both card games about the deep sea and the mysteries it contains. Gorgeous, both of them. Neither has a flaw.
Yeah, I was just eyeing up Dredge. Might play that
Dredge
later.
is Dredge is intense. I love Dredge. Let's see. We've also got like where is my postcard? Here it is. My postcard to Andre by Ralph. You've met Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my postcard to Andre is about writing a letter to somebody who's kind of fallen out of your life. And maybe you send it, maybe you don't. But there are just as many concrete, real world experiences in this bundle as there are fantastical and magical ones. So that's another really wonderful thing about solo games is that I find a lot of them are so rooted in the real world. Like, I don't think that you could make a cooking LARP for a full group of people. I mean, you could. I've never seen it for a table of 4. But a lot of solo games like Riding the Ley Line, which you mentioned kind of just as we were getting started, are about kind of adding layers onto things that you as a person on your own are probably doing already.
Yeah.
Like riding public transit or cooking.
I love public transit.
Yeah, same.
I'm not very good at cooking.
I'm a great cook.
And now
usually.
I'm just thinking I would absolutely... Well, maybe I'll get to taste your food sometime.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking, I would love to play a LARP about cooking a meal out on like a camping trip or something. That'd be good.
Oh, dang. That would be good. Speaking as the person who's always like the camp cook, yeah, absolutely. That would be super fun.
I'm forcing you guys to help me. It's a game now.
No,
Chop these onions for mechanics.
Your class is onion chopper. You have proficiency in prep. Just please. Don't make me do this alone.
No, stop crying.
A personal favorite of mine is Returning Favorite Low Spell Slots by Amber, the Space Jamber, who a streamer who I have a great affection for. And Low Spell Slots the tagline is the game of giving executive dysfunction the finger. And it's basically just like when you feel like you can't do anything and you can't make yourself do anything for whatever reason. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you have an executive function disorder that's acting up. Anything like that. You just like you roll a die and each of the prompts is like a little thing. Like put a dish away or like read a thing. Just little manageable things that you can do while rolling the dice. And I've recommended it to a lot of people while they're struggling with their mental health. And everyone I've recommended it to has adored it. So when Amber approached me to include it in the second Solo But Not Alone, I was all over it. I was like, yes, please, absolutely, every year.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's I can see how that method would be helpful.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about, well, decisions made, guess I gotta go do the thing.
So, right? Even if it's just rolling a die, sometimes feeling like a force outside yourself needs you to do the thing is kind of what you want. I'm pretty sure Singo, A Few Days in the Countryside is another first time project. by a streamer, again, who likes to stream solo games, Emma Lindhagen from Germany, I think.
Nice.
I know Europe because I keep sleeping through Emma's streams. I wish I didn't, because they're incredible, but alas.
I should stream some solo games sometime. We'll see.
I love solo game streams. I genuinely adore them. I love solo games in general. They're some of my favorites. I really fell in love with them last year. I have written so many that I only put 4 of mine in the bundle.
And in these, unprecedented times, they are even more useful.
Yeah. I've got, for my own mental health, I have depression a lot. I am still kind of sorting out what exactly the shape of my brain is. Right now, my doctor and I are pretty sure I have such bad anxiety that sometimes my brain gets tired of emotions and refuses to let me have any, and thus I have depressive episodes. We're pretty sure that's what's going on.
Yeah.
So I have put together the Sad Cat Survival Box. And what that is a box of things that I might need when I'm having a severe depressive episode. There's snacks in there. There's kind of some aromatherapy stuff because that's something that I very much enjoy that helps me relax. And there are solo games in there to keep me company, including, it's not in the bundle, but Friendly Neighborhood Superhero by Cat Scratcher Games, my friends from Brazil. Beautiful. It's in there. And so solo games were kind of a very important thing for me to include in that because it was something for me to do when I was too in my own head to reach out to other people.
Man, depression sucks.
Oh, it's the pits, huh?
It sure is.
It's so much the pits. Oh, not a fan.
It's also something I experience.
Wow, it sucks, huh?
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing,
It's really, not great.
Really bums me out.
I gotta say, it's a lot better now that I'm an adult. Because when I was in my early 20s and in my teens, I was just like, why can't I pick up the phone and talk to my friends? Why can't I enjoy a party? What's wrong with me? And it was very frustrating. Whereas now as an adult, I can be like, all right, you're having a depressive episode. You have canned coffee and Pringles set aside for you in case you have a depressive episode. Just ride it out.
Yeah, if I'd been diagnosed in high school, maybe I would have graduated high school. We'll never know.
Yeah, there are. Oh, wow. Yeah. One really wonderful thing that came of last year's Solo But Not Alone, Jasper's got back to me and told me that the money was spent on mental health education specifically for kids and teens, which was amazing for me because I was thinking the exact same thing. I mean, not the exact same thing, but I was thinking, God, I wish I'd had a diagnosis sooner. I wish that I had seen someone about my mental health earlier because it would have saved me so much stress and upset to know what was going on with my brain. And I think that early intervention, well, it's not a cure for mental health problems, goes a long way toward helping people build coping strategies for dealing with their brain. So I was over them. Yeah.
Yeah. Healthy coping strategies.
Healthy coping strategies. Important.
Caffeine getting rise up.
Yeah. Yeah. My angry drinking in my 20s was not helped by my mental health.
Same hat, buddy. Same hat.
This is a terrible hat we're wearing.
It's the worst hat.
Why do we both buy this hat? It sucks.
Why does it smell like cheap beer?
Because we didn't care what kind of beer it was.
Oh, I drank so much River Valley Red.
But it's healthy coping strategies are something that you can develop if you recognize the need for them, and diagnosis and early education about mental health can help people understand what their brain is doing and sidestep it.
Yeah.
My favorite metaphor is I love Monster Hunter. And Monster Hunter has also become my go-to mental health metaphor. Because
that's fair, yeah.
Yeah. Like, my brain is kind of like an Anjanath in that it's a big hairy T-Rex that shoots fire at me. But I have fought Anjanath a lot. I have fought that hairy T-Rex so many times. And as a result, I can recognize when it's about to shoot fire at me. And I can win. And my brain's the same way. I've been living with mental illness for so long that I'm starting to figure it out now. I'm starting to figure out the tricks my brain plays on me, and I'm learning to get the better of it.
Hell yeah.
And getting a diagnosis and getting a level of mental health education was instrumental in that process. So
that fight's going to be a bit easier if you can look it up in the guidebook.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Or if you're aware that it will shoot fire at you, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate getting lit on fire by my own mental illness. It's my least favorite thing.
It's honestly, it's up there, yeah. It's not good. It's a bad time.
Especially with all the alcohol fumes, that just makes it so much worse.
Yeah, let's just say that in my 20s I was extremely flammable.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Yikes. So,
well, this has been a horrifying look into Kat and Garm's mental health.
Awful. But that is kind of the reason I bring it up, though, is because, like, that's why I do Solo But Not Alone, is because I've got mental health problems too, and I want to help people. And when Solo But Not Alone 1 made me cry for real. I remember it was near the last day and I was looking at our total and I just realized how much money a $10 bundle had made because so many people cared about saving lives. And I did cry on public transit. And I'm gonna cry again. Probably not on public transit because I'm work from home temporarily, but I will cry again this year because more people care than you think. Like, so many more people care than you think.
Yeah. Well, for you lovely viewers watching at home, if you click the link in the description down there, you can help make Kat cry.
You can help make me cry. I would love it if you would. And if $10 is a bit much for you to spare right now, that's okay. If you help us spread the word, that's going to get this to people who can help monetarily. Raising awareness is an important part of helping battle the stigma surrounding mental health issues and helping people who struggle with depression and suicidal ideation recognize that they can seek help and that they're going to be okay.
Hell yeah. Well, Kat, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Oh goodness, it's been half an hour already. I could talk about my brain for longer than I should.
Me too, buddy. Me too. Same horrible hat.
Oh god, I hate this hat we're wearing.
Well, for those of you watching at home, have a good night.
Good night, everybody.